Hey, what's up, guys? So today should be a quick one. So I actually went to a trial class a couple weeks ago. This is for a combat self-protection, self-defense type of school. So I reached out to the dude. I found him online. I was like, hey, I have a lot of experience, skill set that I want to kind of just be a fly on the wall and kind of help you out and be an uke if possible. He's like, yeah, sure, come check out our class and we could talk from there. I did see that he did tons of corporate self-defense seminars, which is something I always wanted to do. I've just never had a venue or a network to get into that, but he goes into businesses and does seminars on company lockdown, intruder defense, hands-on, what to do when someone comes in with a gun or something like that. Something for me, I've trained my whole life, different styles of martial arts, and I've taught martial arts to law enforcement and working professionals, but it was always in a studio and academy setting. So it's always been on my mind to do more law enforcement combative seminars, people that are needing this type of skill set all the time in their work environment. I felt like this was a great opportunity for me to try and put myself out there. So yeah, the dude was chill, super cool. He told me come in, check it out, don't have to pay anything. Funny story, I'm so used to the dojo setting. I had my black gi on, rash guard, everything, and I was like, I should probably check their page to see what their uniform is. Because I usually, when I visit schools, I look at their social media and I'm like, oh man, everyone's wearing white gis, I gotta put my white gi on. I don't like being the odd man out, especially if I'm a visitor. I looked at their social media and it was like steel toe boots, blue jeans, and a black t-shirt. And I was like, all right, I gotta change. As I was walking out the door, I put on shoes. If you guys don't know me, 99% of my life I'm in flip-flops. I've been in flip-flops since like high school. I don't know if it's some remnant of like Japanese gaita or something, those Japanese sandals, but for me, I feel like it's my martial arts secret where I'm always pushing off my toes no matter where I'm at. No matter if it's freezing outside and it's in snow, I'm always in flip-flops. Put on some shoes, put on a black t-shirt, wore some shorts because it's hot outside here in Texas, and I went to try out this class. So I came in and it was tail end of the kids class, which is cool to see. And the instructor was teaching the kids class. I've been in a lot of schools where the head instructor was just always sitting in his office or behind the desk, and his junior students or teens would be teaching the kids class. So it's nice to see he himself was teaching the kids class. And one thing that was really interesting, and you don't ever see this in most traditional schools, was he forces the parents to train with their kids. And it works twofold. The parents learn the curriculum, and also the parents are like the kids' enforcers. So then you're not stuck being the instructor slash babysitter. So I was like, man, that's a great idea. You're not going to get as many child parent pairs as you would in a regular class where you get like 40 little kids running around, but you could charge a little more. You get longer retention, I would assume, and then the parents get a benefit from it too. So that's a win-win in my head. Again, I caught the tail end of the kids class and it was pretty interesting. So they're doing like the technical get up. If you guys never seen that, you're on the floor, you got to figure out a way to get up back to your feet. So you throw a kick with the bottom leg, never turn your back to your opponents, and then you stand up. And then what's very interesting is he turned out the lights and put on these party lights that you see, flashing lights. And the idea was like, if you're at a school dance for adults, if you're at a bar, low light, can't really see anything around you. The shadows look like other attackers. There's potential to trip over things. So it's cool to see how the kids reacted to that. And then we moved on to the adults class, which I joined in. So again, this is a combat self-defense school. No tradition whatsoever, right? In the sense like you're not wearing a gi, you're not bowing in. We started out, we circled up and we stretched. And the first thing the instructor talked about was actually local and global events. He was like, did you see that stabbing over there off the highway the other day? Did you see that car incident, that road rage incident? And it was really cool. It reminded me so much of my sensei's dojo. Since we were down in the Rio Grande Valley, he was a border patrol agent, ex-Green Beret, and he would come to class and be like, hey, just be careful. There's X amount of people that escaped the other day. Just stay vigilant, etc. It was really cool to be in that mindset again. On the other side of things, It is so different than most karate schools would talk about. That brought up to me the idea of like most martial arts schools, they say self-defense, but then it's self-defense on a spectrum, right? To what degree? Because if you're really thinking about self-protection, self-defense, you have to be plugged in to what's happening around you. You can't just walk in the dojo, put on your gi, put on your belt, and then you're just like playing in Fantasyland for an hour, and then you go back home to reality, right? So it was very interesting to me to spark this self-reflection. It's like, these past few years, I really just been honing in on my skill sets, doing a lot of grappling and stand-up grappling, karate grappling, and just enjoying it and having fun with it. And not to say it's not hard training. It's not like we don't add strikes and all that stuff, but all the big what ifs, right? That go beyond what if he's trying to tackle you. It's like, what if he does pull a knife, or what if he does pull a gun? And I'll keep talking about this as an American, because every single drill that we did addressed, okay, now you can pull your weapon. Okay, now what if he pulls a weapon, etc. So it was really nostalgic, because that's how we used to talk all the time, and it was just fun. So anyways, we circled up, we stretched. We talked about local events, things that happened around us. And then we went into a spear drill, which is always fun. This was a pad drill, so you spear into your partner as they throw haymakers, and then you throw counter elbows back, keeping that shell up. So you're doing this type of shell. And then right after that, we did a knife defense. Again, this is what they do every single class. So person tries to stab your stomach with a knife, you kind of do like a cross down block type thing to clear that limb, and then you run off behind them and then run off and find the exits. And key pointers here, it's like you want to block with the top of your forearm, not the bottom. That way none of your vessels are exposed. If you do get cut, you always want to run around to their blind spot behind their back so they can't chase you. You always want to run towards your exits, so you always want to look at where the exit doors are. All these things that are considerations that are never talked about in traditional martial arts schools. And then we moved on to another spear crash into an arm drag and takedown. Cool with that is we still had the knife. So one person had a knife in the back pocket, and the instructor randomly would blow a whistle. So every time we would do this spear into arm drag, take the back, and then we hear a whistle, whoever had the knife in the back pocket would deploy it and try to stab, right? So you're combining drill 1 with drill 2. Super fun. It kept it fresh. And then we did the whole thing with the lights turned out, just like the kids class. So now your brain's focused on the arm drag drill with the takedown, and then part of your brain has to react to a whistle that you're gonna get stabbed, and then the other part of your brain is like, lights are out, there's partners drilling around me, I gotta make sure I don't trip over anybody, I gotta make sure when the knife does come in and I run to the exits, I'm not bumping into anybody either. So there's all these variables that you gotta account for. And again, these are drills that we're doing straight through for an hour. So yeah, it was like a 5-minute warm up and then right into partner drills. And then we ended the class with kind of a cool like corridor type of drill. So everybody lined up facing each other. So it's 2 lines face to face. Everyone had pads on, and each person went one at a time from one end of the line to the other, between the corridor, and everyone was trying to hit them with mitts, right? And this is a funny story because, like I said in the beginning, I always wear flip-flops. And after we did this drill, they were saying, do you guys remember the dude with the flip-flops who he face planted, his flip-flops stayed where they were, he face planted into the wall. This drill is great because, one, the lights are out, you're forced to stay protected or you're gonna get punched in the face. You can't look down or you're gonna get knocked down to the ground. So you have to look forward. You have to keep your shell up. You have to stay solid with the base, and then you have to look where you're going because it's chaos. There's all these limbs around you. The lights are flashing. It's dark out. It's dark around you. You have to go from one end of the line to the other without tripping and falling. So all these things that are happening. And for me, it was funny. I chuckled to myself because I was like, man, if I walked in with flip-flops with all these shoes, one, how many times have my toes been stepped on, and two, I could have tripped and fell. Overall, it was a great experience. He definitely has created an amazing program and a great culture around him, so I wish him the best. I guess the biggest thing for me is like, and I'll leave this with you guys, traditional martial arts schools, they always say self-defense. To what degree? I mentioned this in another video. It's easy to pick and choose what you want to promote and say you are as a school. We bow when we come into class. We say Japanese terms. We promote self-defense. We teach discipline, etc., etc. And then when you say you promote self-defense and then you put on gear and you just point spar, is that really self-defense? Agree, yes, you're learning coordination and reaction drills and all this stuff. But me going to this self-protection, self-defense class where there is no gi, you're in street attire, you're in the clothes that you would wear out in real life. You are talking about potential to get stabbed and shot, and when you can deploy your weapon after you address the threat, you know, use of force and escalation, all these things that are considered in real self-defense. On one hand, it loses the tradition and everything like that, but on the other hand, it can be as pure self-defense as possible. So for you guys training in, for you dojo owners, it's like maybe once in a while kick the bag with shoes on, maybe once in a while take everyone out to the parking lot and see what really works. Maybe once in a while pretend like somebody has a knife and do knife training, right? Add in a little bit more of that reality-based training that we used to do in the dojo all the time, but add in a little more of that reality-based training to your tradition so that you can really say, hey, this is self-defense in the modern era. All right, until next time, train hard, fight easy.